So
you want to give this thing a crack?
I'd say let's crack it open. Let's just get right into
Cracky
it.
wacky. Three, two, one.
Oh,
Ooh, ooh,
oh,
I got some foamage.
yeah, me too.
On a
That
Sunday
smells like an IPA.
afternoon,
Yeah, it does.
with our glasses in our hands, the hops and barley bloom in a land of craft and cans. Every sip, a story shared, review and taste we dare with our Sunday sips. Sunday sips. Every for a trip.
Yeesh. All right.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody, to another wonderful episode of Sunday Sips. I'm your host, Kyle Lucas. There's your other host, right over there. That's Nick J. Woodard. That's
You
your
best
boy.
believe it. You best believe it.
Today is very exciting. As most episodes are very exciting, but this one's super exciting. Nicholas, why don't you tell us about this beer?
Yeah, so there I was, cruising up whatever dumb highway is between Fairfield and Chico. Um, and I had been told multiple times that I need to stop in Woodland, California and go to Blue Note Brewing Company. It's a small, microbrewery in that sense. But I have it on good authority that they had really good beers. So we had the opportunity, we had the time. We stopped down at Blue Note, got a flight, and was very pleasantly surprised with what we found. So
Great.
brought some back, had to bring some back for the Sunday sips. So today we are going to be tasting the North Shore IPA from Blue Note Brewing Company.
From where?
Blue Note
Woodland.
Brewing Company in Woodland, California.
Woodland, California. Established 2015. So they've been around the block for a little bit.
And so they characterize this as a Hawaiian IPA, and I want to look up what exactly a Hawaiian IPA is considered,
Very
um,
interesting.
because that's not an IPA that I have heard of before. And
Hmm.
there's there's a location-based IPAs all over the place. Hey, welcome to Sunday Sips, Brittany. She needs a hanger. She's
Mm.
interrupting the pod to get herself a hanger.
Hi,
Take
Dan.
two. Take two if you need to. Kyle says hi, Dan.
Hi, Kyle.
She said hi, Kyle.
This so Hawaiian IPA.
All right.
This can
Oh.
is really nice looking.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to do some additional research and figure out what
What
exactly.
exactly?
It would have been great if I was prepared and came into the podcast with that research already done.
Do the
But-
preps. Do the preps. Do the preps.
But yeah, it's early in our tenure. We'll figure it out. Anyways, 6.8%.
Wow.
So, sitting in a good spot as far as an IPA is concerned. Not too much, but not, nothing to scoff at.
It's right in that
um,
sweet spot. Right
right in that-
where I would prefer a good
Yeah,
IPA
I think
at.
that's
You know what I
think
mean?
that's a good zone to be in. That 6 to 7 range. I like that. That's kind of the
Let's,
wheelhouse.
Let's bring up our flagship. What is Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale at? What is that? What is that percentage?
I believe it's 5.7.
Ooh, that's pretty low. See, I would traditionally like it, just a regular IPA. Well, this is a Hawaiian IPA, but an IPA to just be right around like a 6.5. So this is kind of hitting that mark
Yeah, 5.6 for the pale ale.
for the pale. Mm.
Yep.
All right.
So
You want to give this thing a crack?
I'd say let's crack it open. Let's just get right into
Cracky
it.
wacky. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Ooh,
oh,
I got some foamage.
yeah, me too.
That smells like an IPA.
Yeah, it does.
That smells delicious.
Ooh,
I am getting fruity smells. I'm getting hoppy smells.
yep, yep.
Oh, what a nice color.
That is nice. That is really nice.
Right off the bat, that looks delicious. That looks refreshing. That looks amazing.
I mean, Hawaiian IPA, there's got to be a little bit of hazy influence there
Sure, like
without knowing
maybe
officially what a Hawaiian IPA is. It
between like a
looks
hazy and a tropical.
maybe because it looks like it would
It
have
smells
that
very
kind of
tropical.
yeah.
All right,
Um,
let's take a sippy.
yeah, cheers,
Cheers,
bud.
brother.
Ooh,
That is crazy.
I was gonna say it's pretty good.
That is crazy good.
So I had to do some digging here because it's a smaller brewery. They do have a website, but there's not as many details on their website as you might find in, last week we did Elysian Space Dust,
Right.
and they have a very robust website with all the information you could ever need about each individual beer. Not quite as much for Blue Note Brewing Company, but they do have enough. North
Right.
Shore Hawaiian IPA. Uh, they have, I guess, a chart, if you will, that kind of shows you where it falls between pale and dark and between malty and hoppy. So it leans more pale than it does dark, which that
Mm-hmm.
I think that checks out,
That checks out.
and it leans more hoppy than it does malty, which I also think checks
Yeah,
out.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And I actually pulled up a description from when they first released North Shore Hawaiian IPA, um, which is back in 2023. So that this feels like the second iteration of that.
Sure.
And then at the time, they said it's a pineapple fronted IPA that will refresh
Definitely.
your taste buds and make you feel like you're at the beach. And I
It,
think,
dude, it's very beachy.
yeah, I think that's right there, dude.
They explain it very well because it's first thing I get right away is pineapple, tropical, and then Hawaiian, if you will, and
Oh,
then it immediately goes right into just IPA. Like the pineapple kind of ends and the IPA takes over, which is very nice.
oh.
What?
So I'm looking. So I found that description on their Facebook page when they posted about it. Um, and I think this beer might have been brewed to raise money for Maui after the fires in Maui,
Oh wow, that's
which adds
cool.
a whole new element to this, which makes it
That's
way
very
cooler.
awesome. It's very awesome. That's cool.
Yeah,
Um, I
I
would
like
like to
that a lot.
say that the can of the artwork by itself is awesome. I don't know if anyone can see it. It's got like Hawaiian flowers in the background and foliage and the surfboards, and it's a really cool aesthetic. The color scheme is on point. It's relaxing. It's nice. This is strange enough that it says it's very beachy,
Hmm.
but like I could kick back a few of these with like a garage door open
Oh, for
in
sure.
like an afternoon, like this like a I mean still themed like a sunsetty, but garage beer. It's very awesome.
I'm gonna
Um
throw another scenario at you that I
sure.
like for this. And
Hmm.
granted, disclaimer: I've never seen. Let me back up. A good shower beer.
Good shower
A
beer.
good shower beer. Now, I've never had a bad shower beer. All
Right.
beers and all showers are pretty good shower beers. But
Sure.
something about the tropicalness of it, makes it a prime candidate to pull that bad boy in when you go take a shower.
Yeah, this is that hint of pineapple at the beginning makes it exciting, makes it
Yeah.
pop,
Yeah.
makes the readiness for the IPA flavor, the hoppy IPA flavor, that much more exciting. The last one we had, the Elysian, was a dry aftertaste. This is dry-ish, but a little less dry. The Elysian Space Dust was very dry.
Yeah.
This is got a more wet note finish.
Yep.
Also, other than the Space Dust, this doesn't leave. I said this after the pod. The Elysian, even after I wasn't drinking any of the beer, if I had like some saliva in my mouth and I swallowed, it was almost like I got more bitterness just even every time I swallowed. This doesn't do that. This gives me like more pineapple-y IPA lingering instead of just straight bitter, which I like a lot. It's obviously less percentage. The IBU factor is not as inherent as the Elysian, even though they're both IPAs.
Yeah. I know we're just on the verge of like, we're in the early, what am I trying to say here? This podcast is in its infancy. There we go.
Infancy. Yeah, you got it.
I may have had a beer with my meal earlier.
Hey.
Maybe, we're closing in on our last few days of being able to drink here, so I might have been,
That's true.
making the most of it. But of the beers we've had so far on the podcast, and I know it's hard to say because we've had a lot of different varieties of beers already. We've done triple IPAs, we've done tropicals, we've done Mexican lagers, we've done we've gotten a good mix so far. This might be near the top for me.
This is very near the top.
It checks my boxes because I love something that's got a little bit of fruit to it, a little bit of light, fun flavor. But I'm not against a good ABV, like nothing crazy. I don't need to be drinking 9, 10, 12% beers all the time. But a nice, if we're approaching 7,
it's
that's
good.
It's gonna be a fun time after a couple of beers.
The most bang for your buck, I'd say. You know what I mean? Without going crazy. This would be only the Valle is better in my opinion, just because I'm a little hooer for Valle.
I was gonna say you are intimately connected with that Valle.
I love it so much. This is probably number 2. I'm straight up that we've had so far. It's very good, very refreshing, even for an IPA, which is insane.
Yeah.
Do you have the IBUs pulled up? Can I take a guess?
I do. You can absolutely take a guess as long as you don't look at the can because that's where they are.
Does it say on the can?
It does say on the can.
Okay, I'm not going to look. What was the Space Dust? Do you remember?
Space Dust was
80?
Was 73, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Then on the complete other end of the spectrum, we had the Farmer's Valle, which was
15.
15, somewhere around there.
And the Voodoo was 30?
33, I want to say.
Okay, I think the tropical tour or the tropical IPA from Voodoo was very more fruity, way more fruity, fruit centric. I'm gonna guess a straight 45. I want to go under 50.
Under 50 is definitely correct. 45 is damn close.
Is it like 43?
It's 40. So you're getting better at this.
Where are you seeing this on the can?
Right under the ABV.
I didn't even see the ABV. Oh, it's right here in the little. Yeah, right next to my thumb. That's cool.
Yeah.
40 IBU, 6.8 ABV. That's sick.
I mean, it's a very well-rounded beer.
It is. It really is.
It's giving you a little bit of bitterness, but not too much. It's giving you a good ABV, but not too crazy. It's giving you some nice fruit flavors, but not overpowering.
Right.
I kind of love this
Now,
beer. Like
I would
like
say
this beer sorry, please.
no, I would just say because you said it's not too bitter. I would still say for those of you, our friends that might listen to this that do not like a hoppy bitter flavor, this is still probably one you won't like. It does have very hoppy bitter flavor
It's an
after
IPA
the
through and
fruit,
through for sure.
through and through. But it does it very lightly and subtly in a very refreshing, delicious way. I have very little to say bad about this beer. I maybe if I were to nitpick, no, there's nothing. I got nothing. I couldn't even nitpick.
I mean I'm sure we could if we really thought hard about it, but it's a pretty all around great beer. And I think the uh best test we will have is my parents are coming up this weekend, and for the sake of when this comes out, it won't be this weekend, but
Sure.
my parents are coming up for Oktoberfest. Um, my mom will drink IPAs and triple IPAs, high ABV beers all the time. She doesn't care. My dad is very much. It's got to be if you're gonna give an IPA, it's got to be a very specific IPA that's not
Right.
bitter at all, that
Right.
has leans towards the lighter side of things. We're gonna have him try a North Shore IPA and see what he thinks. So I think
Might
that'll
be
be the ultimate test. I
might
think
be
I
a
can
little too much for Pops.
I think I can sell them both on trying it because of the name of it, North Shore
Sure.
IPA. It's named after a place that is very near and dear to their hearts. They
Sure.
went to the North Shore of Maui twice in the last twice in the last 3 months. But yeah, I think if my dad is on board with this beer, that shows just how special this is. Um,
Sure.
and it's I was gonna say this, it's going to be the beer that single-handedly brings me back to Blue Note Brewing Company the next time we're driving through that area.
That's
Um,
cool. It's
because
very cool.
and if I can nitpick, it's not about this beer in particular. It's about, unfortunately, the food at Blue Note Brewing Company. I think I'm spoiled. I think I'm spoiled when it comes to brewery food because we've got a couple of breweries in town that do food really well.
Very well.
Um, we've been to places like Sacramento, like Oregon, that have breweries that make really good food. The one that comes to
Urban
mind
urban
is
roots
Urban Roots. Is Urban
and
Roots in
Sac.
Sacramento. Probably better
Dude,
food than beer, weirdly
dude,
enough. And the beer was really good.
the killer menu of food. I'm
But
listen, fat boy certified. That
yeah,
barbecue is so good.
yeah. And trust me, we'll review some Urban Roots beers for sure. But
Absolutely.
on the topic of Blue Note Brewing, like we got a pizza to share, and maybe we just got the wrong pizza, but it was a little average. It was fine. It wasn't
Underwhelming.
it wasn't it
Underwhelming.
wasn't like we were just grabbing a DiGiorno or whatever.
Sure,
It was a
sure.
decent pizza. And
Yeah.
they did it in a wood fire oven, and they had this nice little patio for you to sit with shade and all that, which I appreciated all of that, but I was kind of hoping for just a little bit more something with the
So not
pizza.
bad, not bad, but a little just underwhelming.
No, yeah, just
Yeah,
maybe not what we were hoping for.
sure,
But
sure.
still totally edible, still totally, I would say decent. But
Right.
just not. Like I said, I think I've just been spoiled. I think
Yeah,
when you have places in
yeah.
and in town, near town that do a really solid menu to pair with some already great beers,
Right,
it throws off your whole expectations for what breweries should have in terms of food.
right.
So,
I think we get muddled too in the fantastic eatery we have around
oh yeah,
Chico. Just
oh yeah,
not just breweries, but like you know, eateries for pizza and wood fire pizza and all that artisan stuff that comes along with a fantastic beer selection from the area. So no matter where we really go, most places, it's going to have that brewery feel because the beer selection is going to be localized. So even if we were to go somewhere like a B Street or like Crush or something like that, like Grana or whatever, you're still going to have all of our brewery favorites there because they're so easily acquired. And so I think of that food when I think of brewery food, which isn't really fair to other breweries.
Fair.
But it does enter my mind as a possibility of why you think that way about them. And who knows, like maybe for that area that's a very good option. And even if a pizza, and even if that food's just a little underwhelming, like you said, doesn't mean it's bad.
No, doesn't mean it's bad at all. And I think the beer more than made up for it. I mean, I had a flight in addition to the North Shore was my favorite, but there was a Kolsch that was pretty good. There was an Oktoberfest beer that was solid. They had a triple berry sour, which didn't mind at all, and they had an oatmeal stout, which, I'm not always the biggest fans of stouts. You have to have a good stout for me to be really into it.
A little Lunar Decky.
A little Lunar Decky. A little foreshadowing because that will be on a future podcast.
For sure will.
I have 2 different years of Lunar Decadence sitting in my fridge.
And the time for Lunar Decadence is coming up again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's about to be cold season.
Yeah.
You might have 3 years.
There's definitely a chance that that'll happen.
I mean, there's definitely a like a 95% chance that that'll happen.
Oh man.
Because your wife is a big fan of the Lunar Decky.
Oh yeah.
Even though that poor lady can only have one at a time because it's very heavy.
1 1/4. That's all she can do.
She really enjoys that one.
Yeah. All right, we should score this puppy.
We've been
beating around the bush long enough. We've been taking our sips. We got
around the palm tree, if you will.
Hey, I like it. I like where your head's at, kid.
There you go. I want you to go first on this one because you were the discoverer of the beer.
I feel like that's fair. That's fair. I was gonna say I feel like I went first for the Space Dust, but I think it's fair reasoning for me to go first. I want to stay grounded. I don't want to go too high on this beer, even though for my money, it's been the best beer we've tried so far. I don't think it breaks into the 9s. I think 9s are elite company, like truly elite company.
Right.
And I've got a few beers in my mind that those 9s can be reserved for. But I'm going to go just short of a 9. I'm going to go 8.75 because I like that. I like this beer that much. Like,
sure.
I think it takes a lot to get in that upper 8s category. And I think this is doing everything it needs to justify that 8.75 score.
Sure. Yeah, that's very good. I was thinking about this earlier. I'm giving this an 8.25. 8.25, and here's why. It's very good. It's phenomenal, actually. I think I rated Valle as the 9. And I said this is probably the second to that. That being said, there might be a little wiggle room for some IPAs that I like a little more than this. However, what we said, 7s, what are they, like 8s and higher are something that I'm going back for sure. Like I'm ready on this. I'm going for it. So 8.25 seems a little subtly like that. 7s and above are just very good, very standard. Between 7 and 8 is something that I will smile when you hand it to me, but I'm not actively looking for it. But that's why this is above an 8, because I want more of this. Actively
100%.
want more of this.
100%.
At a 6.8%, This is something that you can drink multiples of. You will feel it eventually. When you have about 3 of these, you're gonna start feeling
It,
really
it'll
fuzzy.
it'll creep up on you for
It'll
sure.
creep up on you.
No doubt about that.
But if you're trying to get nice and choicey, a little 6-pack of these boys will do you just fine. With only moderate pain in the morning. I don't recommend that for the space dust. I do not recommend that for the space dust.
No. Look,
Unless you are
love
trying to
the
feel
space
pain.
dust, but man, that was something else.
Yeah. This is a very good non-party beer. This is a very good sipper beer. Very good. Enjoy the flavor. You're not trying to shotgun this. You're not trying to do anything like that. You are trying to enjoy the flavor and experience the beer. Most of what I would say most of what we do on this pod is going to be closer to that. And we will get into some others. Valle, you could shotgun a Valle.
Oh yeah.
You could for sure shotgun a Valle.
Oh yeah.
But this is not one of those cases. I'm thoroughly impressed, Nick. This is very good.
Yeah. I'm glad we made the stop. I'm glad. And I did, and you've seen me do this many, many times before. I went up to the bar back, the brew tender, and I said, "Hey, if you guys do flights, I'd love to do a flight. I've never been to this brewery. Pick what you think I should try, and let's do it." And she picked a great lineup and happened to pick the North Shore. I went back to get my 4-pack to go, and I said, "Hey, I really like the North Shore," and she goes, "That's my favorite beer." I'm like, "Well,
Sweet.
thank you for putting
Sweet.
it on there because it turned us on to something really special." So
yeah, she honestly sold you to come back for real.
100%. Yeah, I'll definitely be back.
Yeah.
But yeah, North Shore IPA, Blue Note Brewing Company. If you're passing through Northern California, if you're on your way to Knight's Landing or somewhere of that ilk,
Knight's Landing. That's good.
I've got a few stories about Knight's Landing. I'll tell you another time. But
Very, very few people will know it's Knight's Landing, and I'm very, very thoroughly acquainted with Knight's Landing.
It's a good beer. It's a brewery worth stopping at. It's got a charm to it that's can only be found in those microbreweries that are really just serving their local community, not trying to do too much, but still making really tasty beers. So
it is. This is you just made me think of something that I thought of previously. Only with the Voodoo Ranger, the tropical IPA that we tried. It's very rare that you find a beer that has its own personality.
Yeah.
Type. Don't really feel that with the Elysian. It is a good beer, but it's not like personality. The Voodoo has a personality. This has a personality to it.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that.
Yeah. That's a cool thing when you can find a beer that kind of speaks for itself, if you will. That really sets itself in a class all on its own.
Right. Like so, I wouldn't even say the Valle has a personality. It's just a very good standard Mexican lager beer that does everything right. It hits all the buttons for me. But this has like its own identity, and I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. It lives up to its name 100%. Makes you feel like you're on the North Shore.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah.
It tastes like a sunset.
It tastes like a sunset. I like that.
It really
I like
does.
that, Bert Kreischer.
Hey.
Have a sunset with cocktail.
Like a sunset. Yeah. It's about to be the best day ever. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I think we've said about all we can say about the North Shore IPA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic all around beer. And I think that should do it for this week. Unless you got anything else you want to toss out there, big guy.
Stay tuned for more episodes. We're coming at you hard, coming at you strong. We are embracing this pod, one story, one craft at a time. And hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever podcasts are sold. You got it. We'll be there. Yeah, dude, this is fantastic. I'm thoroughly impressed. All right.
Yeah. Cool.
Don't forget, you crack one for us, we'll crack one for you. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, fella.
From citrus zest to dark night, we unravel flavors lore. Mosaic dreams take flight of IPAs and we adore. Raise a toast to what's new here in the world of craft beer with Sunday Sips. Sunday Sips. Every pour a trip with our Sunday Sips. Each note we hear as we sip and cheer. Craft beer's near. Sunday's treasures clear with our Sunday Sips. Sunday Sips. Every pour a trip with a Sunday